We're back to Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy.
Welcome back, everybody, to Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. So glad you are joining us today. We'd like to welcome in C.J. Decker, the brilliant C.J. Decker. He's with the Secrets of the Fall line. C.J., are you with us right now, sir?
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, thank you so much for being part of our show. I am so intrigued. I can't tell you. I barely slept last night. I'm telling you, this is the truth. I really did because, and before we start talking about The Secret and everything you've got going on with your book and video, are you willing to share some information about you, your background, where you hail from, your education, that kind of stuff? Are you up for that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Well, we can't, I know a lot of stuff is secret in your world. I know that, but share what you can.
I'm going to be 60 years old in a couple of months. Went to a couple colleges, small schools here in Michigan. Played pretty much amateur golf my whole life. I'm not like you guys. I got to play every single day because I owned an insurance agency. I could just walk out anytime I wanted.
Hey, you're in the right business for that.
But, you don't get to play like that.
Oh, boy.
Hey, somebody who understands.
They really, truly get it.
Well, and that's the advantage, and it's one of the reasons when I found this secret about the fall line back in 1985, and the PGA, I called them, they didn't want it. They didn't even look at it. So I spent the rest of my playing days as a competitive secret. And literally, it's interesting because it really works, and I spent 30 years studying the fall line ever since.
Well, can I ask you, C.J., did you keep it a secret just kind of despite the PGA because they weren't willing to listen, or is it just something you wanted to work, polish, and get ready to launch? It's been many years before you held on to this secret.
No, I know. No, initially I kept it because I was spiteful for the PGA.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe they were doing that.
Yeah,
but
it's
in the long term, really in the long term, I learned a lot more when I wrote the book than when I was playing.
That's awesome. It really is awesome, and then it's funny because I've found out we've been PGA members forever, and I put the PGA down, but it seems like if it's not their idea, it's not anybody's. What I mean? It's got to be their idea, and on a lot of different things. But without question, and the most common reason golfers miss putts, and you know this as much as anybody, especially us who are in the industry. It's just because they don't read the greens correctly. I mean, they work on speed control and distance, and they can, it breaks, 3 inches to the left, or it's 4 cups out or whatever. They just don't do it correctly. Your book and video, The Secrets of Fall Line, seems to be the answer for everyone. It sounds almost too good to be true. Is it too good to be true?
Well, the fun part is I want to change every practice green in the country. Think about it. You guys understand this if your listeners don't know this yet. But almost all the old courses have flat practice greens.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a theory behind that, and the PGA came up with it. If you had a good putting stroke, you'd be a good putter. And a flat surface is what you practice a good putting stroke on. Well, you don't get to practice putts that break. And because of that, the average player really has trouble with anything that's a medium to a big breaking putt. So I'd bring one load of dirt in, make it constant grade, add it to the practice green, and, kind of change the culture.
So make it real life instead of, I couldn't agree with you more. And yeah, God, I really couldn't agree with you more. You say that the secret is the fall line, and almost every telecast, if you're paying attention, Johnny Miller almost mentions the word fall line almost every telecast. I don't know if you've noticed, but he does. Somewhere along telecast, he says, I wonder if that's on the fall line. Can you tell the listeners, what is the fall line? What is it, and how do you find it?
Yeah.
So
I'll give you a quick story. My mom hit me with a ring finger because I was at Christmas, and I was practicing reading greens. You can read greens right at your kitchen table with a cup of coffee. Because if you pour liquid out of a cup, the lowest point that liquid comes out of the cup is the fall line. And that's what you're looking for. And you see this so many times. If you put water into a golf hole, you can't do that in real time. But with my system, if you watch my YouTube clip, I'm actually giving this away. I got members that aren't happy. But I need to jumpstart this.
Mm-hmm.
And the bottom line to finding the fall line is it's the perfect straight up and down at the golf hole. And I don't look at the golf hole like everybody else. I look at the characteristics of golf, the grass, the dirt, and the cup. And for your listeners, if you look at the dirt and cup where they disappear into the grass, you need 2 fixed points to draw a straight line, guys. And the bottom line is, those 2 fixed points where the dirt and cup disappear create a straight line. You make those perpendicular to where you stand, you have found the fall line. Now, there is a specific step-by-step way to find it, and that's not what I talk about here.
You know, I know, and I was with Mike showing me a graph right now, and I guess I have to have this one question. It says, one of your catchphrases is no drills, no mechanics, just reading greens. The only strategy using math to find, prove, and see the fall line. Do you have to be a mathlete or a genius in math?
Oh, math.
A mathlete, I know I came up with that. I know.
That's good. Really good.
To see it, can the average player that's not a math, have a big math background, can they find the fall line?
Yeah. It's unbelievable because it's math, but it's not an equation. There's no calculations at all.
Ooh.
And that's what's so simple about it.
And
anybody out there who remembers how to find the perpendicular line to any 2 fixed points, this is how you prove it. You take a metal compass, put a point, the metal tip at one point, and the pencil, make an arc above and below. Do that again from the other side, and draw a straight line down through those 2 crosshairs. And again, you draw a straight line through the 2 fixed points where the dirt and cup disappear. Ready? That's where you create the X and Y axis for every golf hole in the world.
He's sharing it. He's sharing a secret.
I like it.
Yeah, but that's math.
Yeah.
It's that hard. And so the wrinkle is, it's the fingerprint of every golf hole you'll ever see.
So because my understanding, and I could be totally wrong here, is there a fall line? Because every green needs a drain. Is that the reason that there's a fall line in every green? Is it strictly for drainage, or is it?
No.
It's not. So it's. Can you explain why every green has a fall line?
Well, from the standpoint that the fall line relating to each individual golf hole is going to be about 5 feet, no more.
All right.
And I shouldn't say no more, but for the most part, no more. And that doesn't equate to drainage. And there's a lot of people out there, yes, it does. Listen, I do not use grain, drainage, or slope. I don't use the terrain. I do not use my feet to find the fall line.
Nice.
All I do is look. My first move, the first step is you use those 2 mathematical exercises. You find the fall line in less than 5 seconds.
See that you
Then go from there with the rest of my program, and it's finding the fall line. That's the hard part. The rest is easy.
Joining us, CJ Decker, Secrets of the Fall Line, is just explaining the actual secret of finding the fall line, which obviously is going to help you read greens correctly. Some greens, CJ, as you know, are kind of like 3 or 4 greens into one. They have the upper area and the lower area, and there's you see in where you're going to hit it, and you're going to go the upper tier, lower tier, side tier. Does each tier have a fall line? Do you know what I mean? Are there like more than one in a green?
The way I explain it, every golf hole has its own fall line.
That's
so there's an infinite number of fall lines on a green. Now, to be fair, you move a golf hole within an inch, you're not going to see anything dramatic. But yeah, every golf hole has
every golf hole has a
different segment.
And so I love what he said, in the dirt, it falls with the cup. I mean, I know that this is going to be in your book and video, and I do not want you to explain too much because it's so intriguing. I'm trying to understand it. I love when you said that all your subscribers or members, if you will, are self-taught. And I'm sure you have to take your knowledge and teach yourself. You said you can read the fall line in 5 seconds. Boy, you're pretty well educated in this topic. How about us?
Right.
What about me? When I get this stuff, how long is it going to take me to learn to recognize the true fall line? 2
minutes.
I love this guy. CJ, you're awesome.
Anybody. I don't care if you're a D player or if you're on the PGA Tour. There are things in my book that work for everybody. And the wrinkle is when you actually know exactly what to look for, I'll show you precisely how to find it. And with those 2 fixed points, when you understand the correct way to find that, there is a specific way to do it. But literally, as soon as you see it, I have seen PGA instructors who have played on tour, like Billy, I've seen that light bulb go off in their eyes, and they wish they knew this when they play.
And that's what it was, huh?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you guys, you know, you can find this in just a couple minutes, first time out.
Well, I can't tell you how exciting this is. I'm like, this is pretty cool stuff.
It's like you said, Bill. It's very intriguing. I definitely want to learn more. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, who doesn't want to be a great putter?
Or understand why you make a great stroke and it's just not there. You think, God, I hit it just what I thought was right.
Yeah.
And it's just misreading. It's pretty. So I hate to bring this up, but I'm going to bring up a competitor just for a second because of their claim. The Aimpoint claims to be the world's #1 green reading system. That's what they claim. So I don't know if it's true or not, CJ, but they claim it. Can you please tell us the major difference between, I know it has a lot to do with some math and stuff, but what's the difference between the Secrets of the Fall Line and Aimpoint, if you don't mind sharing?
No. One of the biggest reasons between Aimpoint and my system is that, let's go with speed. You can charge or leg your putt, and my system works. And let's face it, Tiger Woods won 14 majors, and we've all watched him. He knocked it 3 and 4 feet by the hole for a career.
And Tom Watson before him did the same thing.
And it doesn't fit into Aimpoint schematic. There's a reason for it, and I agree. Aimpoint's the #1 program in the world. However,
so far,
Tiger could walk into my system and make it work immediately.
Wow.
That's one thing. The other thing is the Fall Line itself. Aimpoint, as I understand it, and I've talked to some Golf Digest instructors of the year, they've included me in, but you use your feet to feel for the terrain for where downhill meets uphill.
Right.
At transition point. But when you do that, you're 8 to 10 feet from the hole. And the biggest, most huge difference, you find the Fall Line at the golf hole with my system 100% of the time. Anywhere in the world.
So right at the hole. You just go to the hole and you find it right then.
Yep.
This is awesome. Joining us, CJ Decker, Secrets of the Fall Line. Go to his website. It's readinggreens.net. Readinggreens.net. Check it out. It's on there right now. This is really intriguing. And I noticed you're 4 years selling the Secrets of the Fall Line. Why is it the secret is finally now getting out? You knew it since '85. You developed it all these years. I know you mentioned it was kind of, you waited a little bit because of the PGA thing, but why now? Why is this just time? You thought you'd release it and share the world?
Well, initially, I expected my members to be kind of a referral source, and that didn't pan out the way I wanted. It isn't that they're not referring it; it's their friends are buying it, and I understand. I figure there's half of the golfers that'll never, ever take a lesson, no matter what. They don't want to. They just want to enjoy the game, and that's fine. I knew a doctor here in town. I live in a town of 2,000 people, and he never kept score a day in his life. Think of that. He played golf. He never, ever kept score.
He probably just loved the game, man. That's
a smart man.
Good for him, actually.
That's a smart man.
Good for him.
Well, for my chair, the rest of the people, a lot of them will take a lesson, but it'll be on the quiet. They don't want to go see somebody. They'll buy something online or something in the store, and they'll go home with it. And that's kind of where I come from. And now that referral program hasn't actually panned out, I'm kind of reaching out like this. And this morning, Harry Arnett is Senior Vice President of Marketing with Callaway.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are going to love this. He favorited my notice to him about your show today. So give him a heads up when you see him. But I'm beginning to get those kind of accountability, the credibility of people who are elite within the game now.
And, CJ, you can see it happening, too. I was looking through your website, and well, look where you're in 25 countries. It started, when people finally realize it works, if anything works, they're going to do it. And it's, like you said, some are going to do it secretly, some need to be told by a friend, and pretty soon, boom, explosion. But you're in 25 countries, South Africa to Thailand, everywhere. So this is huge. You must be very excited. I mean, I didn't know if you knew it would explode like this, or hoped it would, or what were what were your thoughts when you first launched?
Well, two things. Number one, you have to have somebody that kind of changes the schematics. And there's a kid named Sam Burns, and he's the #1 junior amateur in the world. He's using this system. Not the whole thing, but that's one of the flexibilities about Secrets of the Fallen. You can pick and choose the pieces you want to help and improve your game. The other thing is about the geography. Now, you guys have, what, over 120 countries that follow you.
Yeah.
And for my chair, I've only got 30. But here's the fun part. I never in my life dreamed that Vietnam would be on my list, and better yet, Hanoi.
Yeah.
Out of all the places for me to have, Hanoi is not on my list, but I think that's kind of cool.
That is it's extremely cool. Maybe you should call it the not so secret, because people say hear the word secret, they're like, I don't know.
Well, there's a lot more secrets in this book in video. I sent the video. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at it, but the bottom line is finding the falling is only the first step. There's dynamics, and dynamics is a limitation as to how your speed targets the golf hole. And that's what helped Sam Burns. So once you find out what these other look at it this way. Secrets is plural for a reason.
Right, exactly. Has young Mr. Burns been kind enough to share where he's getting his secrets from? I mean, is he an ambassador? Is he an ambassador of yours? I mean, is it you've never talked to him? You just that's
never
cool.
met. No, his brother brought it on their way to San Antonio. He got a special exemption to play in the Valero Open down in San Antonio, and they got into it, and they wrote me back, and they were able to found the fall line in a couple of minutes. And all of a sudden, his problem of finding or making medium to big breaking putts, once he applied my system, apparently he made everything.
God, that's his.
Well, and this is just me guessing because he practices at David Tom's facility in Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm guessing he's aim point. Everybody that's any good is. There's a #1 program out there. I'm just playing catch up. But the bottom line is, he still had his shortcomings. I never met him. I never talked to him, and fixed his problem.
Yes, that's what he's needing. And I was I don't want to cut Mike off. Did you have a question, Mike?
I was just curious. Membership. You mentioned referrals, and now you have memberships. And I know that you were kind enough. We were able to go in and become a member of readinggreens.net, Secrets of the Fall Line. How does somebody do it? What does it cost? Is it how? I mean, those guys obviously. They did it, like you said, on their way to San Antonio.
And to follow up with that question, two-parter, certified. Can Mike and I become secret tellers, if you will? Can you become?
I like that.
Can you
too.
become a certified? Because some systems and companies have certified, professionals. Is that something that you're offering as well?
Yeah, but it's different.
Okay.
Now you guys are both certified with aim pointing, I'm guessing.
Mike is. I am not.
Okay.
But
being certified with aimpoint costs thousands of dollars. To be certified with Chris Decker's Secrets of the Fall Line, $35.
There's just a little difference there.
You buy the book, you buy the video, you teach yourself, go out and charge your normal lesson plan, and away you go. In one lesson, you recoup your money.
Wow.
I'm not to make... Look, my goal is to get to the individual player more than anybody else. But I'm not going to make it complicated for the PGA member to get this and actually put it in practice. You can do this in a day, all by yourself. You can learn it in the morning and teach it in the afternoon.
Cool.
He needs to find thousands of people who can't keep a secret to get this secret, and it's just going to explain. Can you share some of the success stories? We only have a couple minutes left, unless you want to hang on through a break. But there's many success stories. You mentioned the top amateur, but is there any other stories that you can quickly share about people that are finding the secrets of the fall line?
One is playing in the 2000 Michigan Mid Amateur, and on the 10th hole of the second day, I had a competitor ask me for a putting lesson.
Nice.
That's cool.
No, that's a compliment.
Here's another quick one. I won't go into all the details, but I made my first 8 putts at the Toledo Amateur back in the late 90s.
Your first
and
8
I broke up a
putts?
fight because of it. I broke up a fight because of my putting.
Oh my God!
Is that story in your book?
Yeah. It's on the back cover.
All right, cool. I have to learn.
But here's the thing that was real quick about that. I made my first 8, and the kid said, "That's the 8th one in a row you made." And the other kid said, "Shut up. Have you ever been to a no-hitter?"
Oh, the whammy.
Nice.
I swear the next hole I horseshoe it right back to me.
The whammy.
One kid made a miss, the other kid dropped his putter, and I had to step in.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, and you've had, these are great stories, but you've had, Dr. Bob Winters and sports psychologist with David Ledbetter's Academy. He's endorsed you. I mean, there are a lot of prominent people out there that know of this, but like you said, it seems like it needs to get out, right? It needs to breathe a little bit more.
Yeah, most of the guys you see on that list on my website, they happened this year. It's just starting to grab hold, and I think next year it's going to be even more. Hopefully. I got a bad website right now, and that's not from it works.
Yeah.
And I sent you an email so that there's a deal that I have for the rest of the month. I'll knock $10 off. So for $25, you can have the book and the video. But you have to sign up for the book and video. And PayPal makes it real easy. I'll discount the $10 right away. But the kicker is, the more time I've had with this, sooner or later, and it's happened, like Dr. Winters, Jim McGurk's a Golf Digest Instructor of the Year, Tom Stickney's a lead writer for GolfWorks. They've all stepped up. They agree. This thing works.
Wow, and this just comes. You can look down into the cup and bang, right? That's it. That's it.
No, you don't look in the cup.
Oh.
You just stand 10 feet away and look at the look where the dirt and cup disappear. There's a point on the right.
I see what you mean. Yeah. I can't wait to run out to the green as I get back to the golf course. It's so cool. On behalf of millions of golfers who are going to be grateful to you, who are starting to be grateful to you, we need to continue this conversation very soon, CJ. You need to come back on. We'll continue this. But right now, we only have a few seconds. Is there anything you'd like to add that we did not cover today? Something?
Yeah, one thing.
Go ahead.
Mike, Billy, both of you, play together when you do this for the first time.
Okay.
And look at each other's eyes when you find the fall line. You will see the light bulb go off.
It's very cool, man.
Yeah.
And of course, once you find the secret of doing it, you show you how to relate that to actually making your putt, obviously. We need to continue this, CJ. If you don't mind, can we get you back on in the near future?
You bet.
All right. You've been a gentleman. Congratulations on your success. Thank you for letting the secret out. And forgive the PGA. They're okay. They just didn't know what was going on.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. We'll put all this information up on our website where people can find you. What a great Christmas gift idea, everybody.
Yeah,
the secrets
doubt.
of the fall line. Go to readinggreens.net and go from there. Thank you so much, CJ.
You bet.
Have a good day.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye. All right, there you have it, guys. Want to become a better putter? That's the quickest way to lower your scores, is become a better putter. So go to readinggreens.net and check it out. Like Billy said, great Christmas present. And it doesn't cost a whole lot. You can improve your game. We'll be right back. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy right here on ESPN Radio and the Golf Talk Radio Network.